Oh, thank you very much. Oh, what a beauty. When one thinks of Asia, exotic holiday destinations immediately spring to mind, such as Penang, Phuket, just to name a couple. So when I received an invitation to come here to Kota Kinabalu on the island of Borneo for a four-wheel drive sightseeing tour, I jumped at the chance. But since arriving, I've discovered it's not going to be all beer and skittles. Well, this is certainly going to be a big test. Having competed in Malaysia on the peninsula before, but never in Borneo. Now, of course, the rally is different to what I'm normally competing in. I normally drive a Mitsubishi Lancer. Today I'm driving an Isuzu dual cab. So the event is totally different. This event's going to be similar to the Paris-Dakar or the Australian Safari that's run in Australia, of course. It's going to be rough terrain. We've got two types of vehicles competing. We've got the little light Suzuki, prepared in Japan, a lot of power, a lot of lightness in it, and should be very fast. We've got the very strong Isuzu, a bit slower. Of course, these roads here are going to be very demanding. The heavier car, the stronger car, should be the go. Well, that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Really, it's pretty difficult to work out where the main competition is going to come from in an event like this. New Zealander grade Aitken is a bit of an unknown quantity, especially running a Suzuki Vitara, owned and maintained by well-known Japanese race driver Monster Tajima.
So I enjoy the endurance rally because we have a very nice car, Suzuki Vitara and also Suzuki Jimny.
And he's brought his own service crew with him, so Grant will have a big advantage keeping the little Suzuki together. Another dark horse is Kiwi Chris Barnes, who's also behind the wheel of an Isuzu Invader dual cab. He's had some pretty good success in New Zealand on the rally circuit over the years, but lately he's been doing well racing jet sprint boats in the World Series. That should make him an expert when it comes to river crossings. There's a couple of factory-backed teams competing in the modified classes. Silverstone Tyres has once again thrown its support behind Kok Sing Yi, who was the first Asian rally champion. He'd have to be regarded as favourite in this inaugural Borneo 4x4 challenge. Another local hero, Vu Kin Yin, has a reputation for being a hard charger when he gets the bit between his teeth. He'll be worth keeping an eye on in the high rev Invader. Tajima also has another Suzuki here for trialling, the earlier, smaller model Sierra, powered by a tiny 1300cc engine, the smallest in the field. Japan's Yutaka Nakado will not be looking for a win. For him, the challenge will be to make it safely to the finish. He'll definitely have to have the periscope up in the deep water crossings. Privateers Lim Kung Seong and Jimmy Wong look to be pretty well set up in their Isuzu half-cab and lead a strong field of Malaysian drivers.
Most of the Malaysian participants have come from Borneo, and we realized that the interest is even actually stronger over there, and combined with the fact that Silverstone has been title sponsor of all other rallies. So we thought that we will develop and build up rallying from at the source, that is in Borneo.
Silverstone's inaugural 4x4 endurance challenge around Borneo gets underway from the capital of Sabah, Kota Kinabalu, and heads southwest to Kuala Punong for the first of 10 special stages. In just 4 days, we'll cover the entire state, over 1,700 kilometres. skirting the edge of the Crocker Range and onto our first overnight, Kenningal. From here we head east to Tawau before the long trek northeast through Latadatu and on to Kundasang. The final leg across the open terrain of Kinabalu Park leaves only a short hop back to where we began in Kota Kinabalu. But that's at least 4 or 5 changes of sweaty clothes away in this humid tropical part of the world. Thankfully, the first special stage is on the beach at Kampong Menampung, so at least there's a hint of the sea breeze. The tulips suggest rocky terrain, river crossings and coconut tree trunks.
Come on, go!
It doesn't sound like your average beach run to me.
Got your blinders! Got your blinders! There we go! Come on! Blinders! 110.
We've only just got underway and the Silverstone Borneo Rally claims its first victim.
There's the helicopter, so there must be a drama where the helicopter is.
Hot favourites Vu Kin Yin and navigator James Wong are having problems with the turbocharger on the Isuzu, but they struggle on, trying to reach the finish 30 kilometres away at Kampong Lamidang. It's a lost cause though, the black exhaust smoke, a telltale sign of their turbo problems. A 2.5-hour penalty on this stage ends their chances of a win before they've hardly begun. But they're not the only ones in trouble. The Zero car couldn't make it to the end of SS1. Bogged to the rear axle, only an hour ahead of the field, they hastily erect an alternative finish, 15 kilometres from the designated end. In this part of the world, communications are limited, so decisions like this need to be made to ensure the event goes without a hitch. Kok Sing Yi is fastest through in the modified factory Isuzu, but Kiwi Grant Aitken is only 20 seconds behind him in the Suzuki Vitara. We're another 21 seconds further back, third fastest, but it's early days yet. Unfortunately, there is only one way out of here, and that's back the way we came. So there is time to suss out some of the competition while we wait for the field to finish.
The motorbike guy.
15 years of competing in this region has acclimatised me to the oppressive heat, but that's something the Kiwis are having trouble with. So a quick dip in the South China Sea is the order of the day.
Gotta watch out for the crocodiles, boys. Hey. Yeah.
SS2 is only 115 kilometres away and takes us over the dividing range to Tamani. It's a logging route which hopefully is not in operation today. There's evidence everywhere of the fires that have swept through many parts of Borneo, and the haze lingers in the valleys waiting for the prevailing winds to whisk it away. Rally leader Kok Sing Yi in the Silverstone Isuzu is having trouble. Like Vu King Yin, the modified entry has a competition turbo on the engine, which is blowing hoses off and forcing him to stop.
Because my car, the intercooler hose is going to intake manifold is pull off. I think is SS2 is 4 times the hose is pull off.
Kiwi Chris Barnes takes advantage of their unscheduled pit stop and barrels on past, recording 6th fastest time on this stage. Steve and I have to be content with 4th fastest, behind Lim Koon Seong in car 13 and the young KMA Isuzu team car 11. Those of us in the standard production class cars aren't making much impact on the modified vehicles of the locals. SS3 begins 45 kilometres up the road at Tenong and heads cross-country using more logging roads to the village of Ansep near Kinningal. Lim Koon Seong and Jimmy Wong make short work of the logging roads, finishing 3 minutes clear of the next competitor.
5 car number 3, 5315.
Very interesting, this stage.
Important for the navigators in SS3. You had no trouble?
No. Because there is a lot of sign there.
Well, someone should have told Chris Barnes that. He didn't see them.
Took the wrong way, I think. We were just jungle looking instead of watching where we were going, but we got here.
What's the scenery like in there?
Oh, it's nice. A few gorillas and a few monkeys. And yes. No, she's a bit of a distance.
I've never seen roads anything like this in my life. These aren't roads, these are just sort of an imitation road. We've been bouncing off the walls and off the trees and off everything, but Vitara is just awesome. I cannot believe it takes the punishment that it does. I've completely lost track of everyone around us, and we've passed cars going the other way, and we were lost for a while, so it's chaos in there. There's two-way traffic everywhere. But no, I'm happy to finish first day.
For 23 kilometres, we drove around trying to find our way out. There are roads everywhere, so when you miss a tulip marker that's fallen over, or been turned around by a friendly local having some fun, it takes a while to retrace your steps.
100. Stand right. Go right, go right. Go right and bend back a bit. 4 kilometres.
And as though we weren't feeling rotten enough, some wise guy wants to know all the details of our problem.
You suggested that you might be interested in doing some sightseeing?
Yeah, good. And we've got a bit of trouble with the oil on the front hub. Is actually about to fall off, but so we're running in two-wheel drive. Whether or not that was a problem with the wheel spin or something not picking up the corner, but couldn't find it. And by the time we'd gone in there, we were so far in, and there were so many tracks in there. Unbelievable.
Well, we've got to go.
Anyway, we have to go. We have to keep on plodding on.
The youngest team in the event in the KMA Isuzu were making good progress and didn't have any problems with navigation, but did come unstuck in the dust. Amazingly, they limped to the finish in search of a support crew to see how bad the damage is.
Are you surprised to see the boys drive it in with this much damage?
Sometimes it all depends on the track.
Grant Aitken and Ralph Andrews in the Silverstone Suzuki Vitara are looking good. They've raced to the top of the leaderboard after the first 3 special sections.
I'm a great believer in just to do your best and not expect anything outrageous. I don't expect anything outrageous, and I'm not over-driving or under-driving. I'm just trying to be very cautious and with a reasonable pace at the same time without getting into any heroics. There's plenty of opportunities out there to be a rock star, and I don't want to be a rock star.
Another confident man at this stage is Zombak Bomark, navigator for Thailand's rally champion Vivat Erlich in the Red Bull Racing team, currently in second place, 3.5 minutes behind the leader. The pair driving a standard Isuzu Invader lead our production class and are third overall despite the larger horsepower of the modified entrance.
I will try to do my best. I will try to finish the rally. I think if we can finish, or we can win. If we cannot finish, or we lose.
The standard equipment on the Isuzu is pretty rugged. She's built for heavy-duty work. But the road conditions and the treatment being dished up to the workhorse on this event are intense.
How rough is this? Certainly not your drive down the shops.
All the vehicles have been taking a pounding. Even the 100-kilometre transport stage from Keningau early this morning has taken its toll.
Just replaced the shocks just at the start of this stage now. Both shocks had packed it in.
That was just getting here.
That was just getting here. That road's pretty treacherous coming in here. I think it's worse than a special stage. Still a long way to go, and I'd say still some hard roads to go, so our plan is to try and finish.
Go right, go right. Go right, and bend back a bit.
Our little navigation problem yesterday cost us dearly. We've dropped to 11th overall. Chris is in 12th with very little chance of recovery. It's time for a change in tactics.
Yesterday we were the rooster, today we're the feather duster. Game plan, attack. Pedal to the metal or the claw to the floor and going for more.
SS4 is a 55-kilometre run from Matiku to Simatua. Our concern is the log trucks, which seem to be sharing the road, although we've been told they'd stopped working before the stage began. Vu Kinyin may have had trouble yesterday, but he and James Wong show some of their old form, coming in 20 seconds behind the Suzuki sports team.
We have it on good authority that that's a bit more like New Zealand.
Oh yeah, hey, that's a good road. Yeah, I got into 5th once. It's quite good. Yeah, she was nice and flowing.
I reckon the blokes in the Suzuki would have had a bit of fun, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah,
That would have been actually like the tennis ball, wouldn't it?
Yes, I really made a mistake, you know.
What happened there?
I got a broken rim, so it got punctured and then it over.
It's 4 hours before the start of the next stage, 100 kilometres away. So we duck into a roadside stall near Mount Louis for a bite to eat. He's a bit sort of
well, he won't eat any of the good stuff.
he's a bit light on the stomach. How about this one here? This has got a bit of carcass.
No, you're fine, mate. I wouldn't say that.
Oh, that's frog. The food may not be what we're used to back home, but there's one thing that doesn't change all over the world, that's cola. This is a great chance to experience another side of Malaysian culture. The countryside is amazing in this part of the world. From Marimba, the start of Special Stage 5, it's 65 kilometres to Calabican. This looks like fun.
Come on! Twisty, ducking and diving, slipping and sliding. Whoa! 400, deep right. On the main track.
Vu Kin Yin can't take a trick. After dropping out of contention early with turbo problems, he scored an impressive second fastest time on SS4 behind Kiwi Grand Aitken, but right on the start line of SS5, bad luck strikes again. The afternoon run to the seaside resort town of Tawau should have been easy enough. Follow the signs and special markers provided by the organisers. Special markers? Well, there's the problem. The locals watched the Zero car put the directional arrows out and conveniently turn them around to point the other way. The resulting chaos had competitors, media and officials driving all over the countryside to the small hours of the night. Well, we are here for some sightseeing, so we make the most of cruising in the final few kilometres through the palm oil plantations. Much of the lowland forest was cleared years ago to make way for farming. For some reason, lone trees like this one were left untouched. Old stories passed down from generation to generation have it that the spirits left the trees with the honeybees nestled high in their branches for good luck. With dusk approaching and a sealed road under our big Silverstone MT117 tyres, we take time out to witness one code of football that knows no cultural boundaries. But then this isn't your average side soccer team really, I suppose. We were second fastest through that last special stage today, moving up to 5th overall. Not bad when you consider we started the day in 10th. Chris Barnes is sticking right on our tail in 6th. While we sleep, the mechanical crews work laboriously into the night repairing the damaged cars. Except they overlook one small problem on ours, a cracked lower suspension arm. Fortunately, Steve and I notice it after breakfast and employ some hasty repairs.
Early morning welding? Yes, and it is a bit like cocky poo, I think they say. That's what it looks like. The problem is that the welder that they've got is one of these that uni-arc that run off the car, and there's no way to control the voltage. So it had about 5,000 amps going through it,
and it was similar to welding a bit of fairy floss.
Some of us, by the way, are having a much easier time of it.
We've continued just to have a charmed run. We haven't had any mechanical problems whatsoever. And I guess we're now at a point where we're just starting to be a little bit conservative. The car has stood up to an amazing amount of punishment. I just can't believe that what we hand out to it, and it just bounces back, literally. So we've got a reasonable margin just now, but anything can happen, as we know, and I think we'll just be a little more conservative from here on out and zero mistakes.
Ralph, navigation's going to be pretty important today from what the locals are telling us.
Looking at this stage, yeah, I think this has got a lot of instructions for a very short stage, so it's going to be a matter of keeping an eye on that road and just seeing if we can not get lost amongst all these palm trees, that's for sure.
The palm oil plantations are of vital agricultural importance, with many of the workers employed from across the border in Indonesia and the Philippines. The work is labour intensive and back-breaking, cutting down the oil pods and loading them onto crates to be trucked away. We leave Kalimpong on the outskirts of Tawau and race through the palm plantation. This is rocky, rough and full of instructions. With the tightness of the section and being constantly thrown around inside the cab, concentration is the name of the game. As luck would have it, 200 metres into this stage and we lose our territory. With over 75 instructions in just 26 kilometres, we'd better find some luck fast. Stop. The Thai Red Bull racing team dropped from 2nd to 13th yesterday after breaking a suspension wishbone. Things haven't gone much better today. The rough special section has caused it to break again. Vivat and Zombat spy a welder on the side of the road. This might be the closest thing to a workshop for miles. Special Stage 7 is 300 kilometres away at Bobatong near Tulupu. We've pressed on to find out what's wrong with our trip meter. Somehow Steve has navigated us through the maze of plantation and farmland without too much trouble, and we're heading north in search of a replacement Terra Trip drive.
200 to turn left.
The service crews and half the field have stopped on the main highway just west of Dunkerton for lunch and much needed repairs. Kok Sin Yi and Johan Zeinel have serious front-end repairs and the service crews are too busy to help me with my Terra Trip drive. You know what they say, if you want a job done, do it yourself. Not a problem. Next stop, SS7 at Bobatong, a 50-kilometre track through to a spot called Entilibon, near the central town of Tulupu.
was rough. That was rough. Yeah, now the mood is that they're going to get rougher and rougher, and that sure was a rough one. But awesome job by number 13 there, just outrageous. Take my hat off to him. We cracked along at a reasonable pace, but he must have taken at least a minute off us. So it's very good going.
In fact, Lim Kung Seong and Jimmy Wong in second overall were more than a minute quicker than the next fastest, Kok Sing Yi.
How was that?
Oh, fantastic.
Good stage?
Yeah, for the maintain. Go slowly.
No problems for the car?
Yes, no problem.
Everything fine. Range then straight on.
That was 50 kilometres of sheer terror. Probably the one of the roughest roads I've ever been on, and we're out of control for probably 95% of the time. Poor, very, very rough, and gee, I hope I haven't done any damage to the car, because we didn't hold back on anything there, because we've got the Kiwis behind us, so we've been giving it the 1-2. Yeah. Now, why do you look nice and clean and not sweaty?
Well, see this air conditioning unit over here? I've got it going.
I can't afford to have the air conditioning on, mate.
Yeah, no, I've just got to have it.
Get away with it. Hello. How you going? So you're the chief? You're the chief? Yeah. Yes, okay. Hello. Racing in these parts of the world gives us a unique opportunity to meet many of the locals. It's great to enjoy the Malaysian hospitality and grab a few minutes of action from the best vantage point around. Hey, well done. Who's this? Car number 7. Chickens and everything. The boys up there. How you going? The long drive through to Kundasang, our overnight stop, is all on tarmac. With the pressure off, we stop in at a roadside stall for supplies.
Well, with the day's competition coming to a close, what better thing to do than check out the markets for a bit of tea? Vegetable? No? Vegetable. Vegetable. Well, I've won you, haven't I? Hey? I might have some of these.
Bây giờ là mango.
Mangoes. Can I have 3 of them?
$1 ringgit.
How much?
$1 ringgit.
$1 ringgit. Okay. $1 ringgit. A steal.
Dạ. Quê nói mày đem qua đây $1 ringgit.
The clouds part long enough on the final day to let the highest peak of Mount Kinabalu sneak through. Race leader Great Aitken is first into the start of SS8 in the shadow of Borneo's tallest mountain. Unlike most of the island, at this altitude it's remarkably cool. A welcome break from the oppressive heat. Lim Kun Seong has consolidated his second position, 14 minutes behind Aitken, with Kok Sing Yi a further 7 behind. The youngest entrants, Johan Zainal and Zainal Ongai, are fourth despite the condition of their car. We've improved our times, but there's still 13 minutes between them and us. And with that Kiwi, Chris Barnes, breathing down my neck, there's only one thing to do: throw caution to the wind.
This is stage 8. We only have another 2 to go to the end. But this one is the big chance for us because it's called the mine shaft. It goes downhill all the way.
Oh, mate, they're pounding at the tyres. Unbelievable. The tyres are pounding through there. Oh,
The other tyre is shaky. A bit of a punishment is a spare tyre on the guts.
Tajimar's little Suzuki is way down in the field in 14th place. But when you consider the size of the engine, that's hardly surprising.
Actually, our is a small car, Jimny, since 1,000-3,000. But we are when the tricky course, maybe we can sometimes win. But the maximum speed is a big difference, the other one. But anyway, motorsport is basically the try to best.
The sole West Malaysian entry of Gunner's son has been having a shocking time over the last couple of days, having rebuilt the rear suspension of the Indian-built Mahindra at least twice. The resulting delays have dropped him to the bottom of the field, but he and Bhavani Iswari have worked tirelessly to stay in the event.
Right now the shackle is gone. So we've put something, we just try to fix it up, we'll finish this course.
Get to the end all right?
We will, definitely.
So the aim is to finish?
Yeah, even if I have to carry the car.
The way things are looking, that's exactly what he might be doing before the end of today. I reckon that Kiwi Chris Barnes has changed the turbo. He was nearly a minute quicker than me on that section, and it was only 10 kilometres long. I've spent too much time dreaming about a cold beer.
Six pint of a cold beer. Now they took Inspire and Australian on at great speed. Here we go. Come on. Another big effort line.
Kok-Sin-Yi is quickest through in the modified Isuzu. But Grant Aitken is only 20 seconds behind and can afford to ease up the pace and preserve his overall position. Togop is a little village on the border between Kudat and Pantai Borough. It's also the starting point for SS9. Everyone mingles around as the 9:15 start time fast approaches.
Better behaved than Australian kids, look at that.
If it's Friday, then it's school day. And no one's excused from lessons. All too soon, we're into the penultimate special stage through to Malik Parlik. This is a great section, but man, could we do with some more power. Those modified Isuzus are made for this kind of racing.
Come on. This will be a jump. Hold on. Whoa. Over we go.
Jeffrey Chiu in the standard work bomb Isuzu comes unstuck in the dust of a passing competitor and rolls. Fortunately, there's plenty of hands to get them back on the feet. But it does look like a meeting of the rollover club. Nothing will stop them from making the finishing line today. Our Isuzu has taken a real battering, and it's all we can do to nurse it to the finish. Like all the vehicles here, it's suffered from the rigours of Borneo's toughest terrain, and taken punishment it shouldn't have had to. But the end's in sight. Just one more special stage and we're home.
Another few bumps as he bleats it into the air. Come on! Big jump! Oh, starting to let go again. Bonnet's broken. Bonnet's letting go. Yeah, no worries. We're going to be letting the potato go. The big worry now is if the bonnet comes up, we can't see where we're going. That's right on the cards. So keep your eyes peeled, troops, as we throw it sideways once again. Nice and tight, let it flow out. Come on!
With little front suspension left and only two-wheel drive, maybe it's time to slacken off the pace a bit. Not too soon either, as one or two of us encounter the local wildlife. As expected, Grant Aitken and Ralph Andrews bring their little Vitara home in record time. 14 minutes and 54 seconds for the 19-kilometre stage. Secure in the knowledge the overall trophy is theirs.
Wouldn't it be one of your fastest runs? Definitely not. No heroics in there. No, it would have taken a wild bull elephant to get us in there, I think. Very happy now. No more stages to worry about.
Lim Koon Seong and Jimmy Wong have been the model of consistency in this event. The standard Suzuki, the same as ours, has provided no problems for them and they've raced well.
Jimmy, you happy to be finished?
Yeah, yes.
Have you had a good time? What have been the hardest parts for you?
On this morning, the Kundasang part, all the rocks, very deep, big rock, all blocking.
A class win and second overall is a good result. That's event favourite Kok Sing Yi parked up on the side of the road, probably with turbo problems again. With the young Isuzu factory team on their tail, they won't have to wait there too long if they're to hold on to third overall. With just a minute to spare, Kok Sing Yi and David Tum bring the powerful modified Isuzu to a halt for the last time, hanging on to third by just 60 seconds.
200 flying finish, flying. Well, that is the statement. Flying finish as we come round and through it. Here they go.
When can we do it again? Well, that's the end of the Silverstone Borneo four-wheel drive endurance rally. Tell you what, that was a good section. It was fairly flowing, but this car's got a bit of a problem. We've lost our shockers on the front, and the bonnet also had snapped off the hinges. So every time we started to brake, the bonnet had come up. So we were really worried about being able to see over those crests. And apart from that, still going like a Swiss watch.
Just as everything comes to an end, we've hit our straps. We're only 4 seconds slower than Grant Aitken, and more importantly, we're 5 seconds ahead of that other hard-charging Kiwi.
Oh, she's something different, that's for sure. Something I haven't done before, and it's good to achieve and get this far. Good with that Aussie there.
Well done, boys. Well done. Well done. That was a good race, eh? Yeah, it was.
From rally drivers of Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and Thailand. Grant Aitken and Ralph Andrews from New Zealand in a Suzuki Vitara representing Dunkerton Suzuki Sport. Lim Koon Seong and co-driver Jimmy Wong. a total time of 5 hours, 37 minutes and 33 seconds. In third position, car number 1, our ace driver Kok Sin Yin and David Tam. With a total time of 5 hours, 49 minutes and 22 seconds. 1, 2, 3, go! Malaysia! Hooray! Sabah! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
Well done, well done, well done.
Well, that wasn't your usual tourist sightseeing trip round Borneo, but then I guess I'm not your usual tourist either. Catch you next year.
Right again. Left, hard left. 300, turn right, stick right, 200. 10 metres stop. Turn right. 70 metres, turn right again, steep right. Turn right. 80 metres, turn right off this road. Turn right, turn right. 100 metres, keep left.